Hello, it's Eric Brown again with another scene analysis, and this scene is from The Fosters, Season 1, Episode 15. And we're going to look at a couple things in this scene. One is the use of mirrors, and secondly, how you use cameras in a confined space like this. Now, one of the nice things about using mirrors, and I should say that you'll see this in Steven Spielberg movies all the time. He makes a lot of use of mirrors, so if you want to see this technique used, watch some of his movies. This does a couple things for us. First of all, we're in a tight space, and using mirrors like this gives us a lot of dimension. So we have a clear foreground and background. The other thing it does for us is it allows us to see the actors' faces. In a space like this, where we have the context of the two mothers putting on makeup, it would be difficult to do an over-the-shoulder shot because they're side by side. You can't get the camera in front of them. So by shooting into the mirror, we get to see the expressions on their faces, and we get to see the context in which this happens. Now, another thing I want to show you in this scene relates to camera angles. Now, in a TV series, they shoot a lot of material in a very short time frame, so they will use multiple cameras at different angles to get as much coverage as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible. You don't want to have to do this take over and over again, resetting the cameras at different angles each time. Now here we are in a very tight space, so we have limited options for camera angles. So let's just go back to the beginning here and see how they do this and provide a lot of visual interest. Now here we have sort of a medium shot from behind them and to the left of them. And then the next cut goes to here. Now, what angle is this? It's exactly the same angle. It's exactly the same camera. Let me take a picture of this, and I'm just going to slide that over that first clip. There we go. So you can see the borders of this scene here. I've just made it small and put it on top. And you can see it just matches up there perfectly. So my guess is what they've done here is in post is they've just taken this larger image, zoomed in on it in post, and so it looks like we have two cameras when in fact we only have one camera. So just take a look at that transition again. So it looks like two different angles, but it's just the same camera. Here we have another camera angle. Are we going to go back to it? Yeah. Okay. So we see the same thing here. We see that the camera here, this is probably a second camera shooting the same time as that first camera that we saw. This one is on the same side of them, but a little bit more to the front. So this provides us with a sort of an over-the-shoulder shot with them side by side. Now here is the medium shot, and if I move backwards here to this shot, again, what I think we're seeing here is we're seeing that they've just taken this part of the frame, so they've zoomed in post, so it makes it look like there's two different camera angles. Where are they there? There's one, there's the other. But it's actually the same camera, same angle. It's all shooting at the same time, no interruptions. They can get through the entire scene. Now we probably there's one more camera angle here in this scene. Again, we're just moving between those two cameras. Now here we have another angle. So this one is to the woman with the black hair is Lena. This is to Lena's right-hand side down here, looking over to Stephanie. So we see Steph's face clearly on this over-the-shoulder shot. And this was probably done in a second take, would be my guess, because it's hard to hide a camera in that corner. You can see here behind Lena, they wouldn't be able to set up a second camera there and have these first two cameras rolling. So likely done in a second shot. This, again, probably the same angle as we saw before, so to the left and to the side of them. They may have panned here a little bit. And then we go back to Stephanie, a little bit of a pan happening, but really these cameras are all very, very fixed. There's not much movement in them at all. And then I'm just going to scan forward here because this is a nice little movement here. I like the way they do this. The use of the mirror. So here, we're focusing on them here. We've lost our focus on the mirror. This obeys the rule of thirds, so this gets our attention. There's nothing happening significant in the mirrors, although we see lots of dimension here, so it still makes the scene interesting. As we move forward, we can see Lena moving in that mirror. Stephanie takes her mark, and we see her face and the expression on her face in the mirror while keeping the same camera angle. So very nicely done. And then the only other camera angle we see, so we saw a short little pan there. This is the only cut in. So besides those 3 camera setups, this is the only additional shot that we see here in the scene. So think about using mirrors. Be careful you don't get yourself in the mirror. That's one of the hazards of using mirrors. You have to be very conscious of what you're seeing all the time. And secondly, really plan your camera setup and consider using this technique in post of cutting into a frame to give visual interest without having to shift the cameras around. Just bear in mind that as you zoom into the clip that you are going to lose resolution. So shoot at the highest resolution possible. If you have 4K, that would be preferable. If not, you're going to lose a little bit of resolution when you zoom in. It might not be so noticeable. So that's our scene analysis. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please click the subscribe button or the like button. If you have any questions, make a comment below. If you'd like to see any scene in particular analyzed, just let me know what that scene would be and I'll see if I can get to it. Take care.